Welcome back to Building a Better Britain. My name's Ummar Hanif, and as a grandchild of migrants into the United Kingdom, I feel like I have a duty to try and dispel some of the myths coming from very irresponsible reporting and very irresponsible politicians in and around the United Kingdom. And I think the first thing that we're sort of hearing is that inward migration through channel crossings of the English Channel in rubber dinghies is, leading to millions of people coming into the UK, and it's having a massive, profound impact on people being able to get doctor's appointments, access to housing, healthcare generally, jobs. And the reality is that just isn't true, with over 96, I think it's nearer 97% of people migrating into the United Kingdom, doing so through very legal means and contributing positively to the economy and society as we see it. And I think in the last 12 months, in the last year or so, it was about 730,000 people that came into the United Kingdom. Again, most of whom have come on student visas, employment visas. They've come into the UK for positive reasons. And I think the frustration for me is, my grandparents came into this country, they worked, they had children here, they all contributed, many of whom have set up businesses. I've gone and advised government as a senior advisor. I've raised a family here in this country, and we've contributed millions of pounds into the UK economy. I've created jobs. We've all created jobs for people, let alone migrants coming in and stealing jobs. We've actually created jobs that weren't there. So I think this thing of they are coming in and taking our jobs is not only ludicrous and offensive, it's actually just not true as well. And politicians, very prominent politicians in the UK, have got this view of, I'll keep spinning this narrative because it's going to get the votes and people are going to get behind this. And the reality is it's absolute, complete and utter nonsense. The other thing as well is around, and I'm also a serving police officer as well, so just to clarify that crime, something like 15% of migrants coming into the UK contribute towards very serious crime. The reality is that's less than 4%. So again, organised crime, very serious incidents are not actually down to people coming into this country. 96% of those criminals and those crimes are actually carried out by British people with British passports that were born and bred in this country loosely, so it's just crazy to think that, they're coming into the country, they are stealing our jobs, they are attacking our people, they are criminals, absolute, complete and utter farcical. It's not true in any way, shape or form. The other thing that I often hear as well is around a shortage of housing. Now, we know that the government need to build 3 million houses a year to keep up with demand for the next 10 years. And that isn't because people are coming into this country stealing houses, taking houses, jumping the waiting lists and getting houses that are rightfully houses of British citizens. Because the asylum process usually results in people only being able to access private rented houses or having to live with family members or friends. So if you look at the statistics and the number of people who are actually coming into the UK and getting and securing social housing is actually minimal. The reality is government policy in the last 20 years or so has led to a shortage of housing, a lack of spending by governments, very poor decision making by the last 2 or 3 governments has led to a lack of houses being built. Fact. That isn't me just saying that to defend migrants. The reality is the government have let people down, and it's very easy for them to say, oh, people are coming into the UK, and as a result of that, we haven't got enough houses. Nonsense. People are having more and more children in this country, and that is the result of them then moving out and not being able to secure housing. Poor housing policy and an archaic planning process has resulted in a lack of affordable houses. And this thing of people, illegal migrants and illegal immigration, there's no such thing, because everybody is entitled to come to the UK as long as they apply for asylum, which the vast majority of people do. If their asylum claim is rejected, they then get deported back to the appropriate country. People coming into the UK, anybody can do that. Our borders are open. We've got freedom of movement. If people genuinely want to flee war or flee whatever they are trying to escape from, they've got the right to enter Europe, the US, the UK, all of these countries in a controlled way. And that's what happens. They may come across in rubber dinghies, but they get picked up at Calais or wherever they are, and they get put into appropriate centres and they get processed. And if they are successful, then they enter the system. And if they're not successful, which a lot of people aren't, they get deported. But the media aren't reporting that because it's easier for them to spin the narrative to get more readers, politicians to spin the narrative to get more voters. But the reality is that we are not at war, we are not being invaded, we are not being taken over. The reality is that the vast majority, well over 96% of people, are coming into the UK and contributing. Thank you.